In this video, we're going to talk about the different options to get the very lowest seat height on a Tern bicycle with this telescopic seat post design. Many Tern bikes have this brilliant two-stage telescopic seat post design where you actually have two pieces of your seat post, which allows the seat height to have a huge range. So the same bike can fit a shorter rider and a super tall rider. This two-stage design also means you can't lower your seat as low as some people need. Tern bikes come with a couple of different telescopic seat post options. The first option is like this one, where the lower post and upper post are straight. Some of the fancier e-bikes come with this option, where you have the straight lower post and then a suspension seat post. If you have the first option, you have a couple of ways to lower your seat height. The first, probably most affordable, is to remove this lower post, and you're going to be achieving essentially this much space. And I don't want to give you a measurement because it really depends on the bike and how tall your quick release is. But what you're going to be doing is replacing this lower sleeve with a shim. This shim is typically around $10. And this shim drops into the tube right here. This is called your seat tube. And all it's doing is taking this material size and shimming it out. So then you're only using your top seat post and putting it down. Because that means your seat post can't go up as high. You know, your partner or somebody needs that seat height much higher, is to buy a second saddle and seat post that is the size of your lower post. So giving you an example, this right here is a 30.9, while the lower post is, I believe, a 34.9. Yes, a 34.9. So if I wanted to share this with somebody taller, but I'm super short or have shorter legs, I'm going to buy a 34.9 post, put a seat on it, make sure it's all level and comfortable for me. And when I want to ride the bike, I take out this whole setup, put it to the side, make sure not to get grease on you, and put in your seat post. And it's actually not very difficult or time consuming. So say this is my partner's bike and they're really tall. All I'm going to do is take the lower quick release, open it, put this whole thing to the side, and then take my seat post and put it back in. On the Tern seat post, there are numbers. So if the top part is fixed, they can remember where their seat post is. For your seat post, I would just etch it with a screwdriver very nice and carefully and just lower it to that line whenever you drop yours in. So that was if you have a typical straight seat post design on your bike. Let's talk about if you have a suspension seat post. Ta-da! So if you have a suspension seat post and you need it only slightly lower, you can do what I was just talking about, which is remove this lower sleeve, put in a shim, and that allows me to just use the upper suspension seat post, taking this lower post completely out of the equation. If you need your post to be even lower, what you should do is take this off and buy a new seat post. Again, it's going to be that size for that lower post. For this HSD, it is 34.9. So I'm going to buy a 34.9 seat post, replace the saddle, and unfortunately not use the suspension seat post. But this allows you to have the lowest seat height possible. Seats have something called stack height, and that's going to be the height from your rails to the top of your saddle. And some seats are going to be taller and some are gonna be narrower. My road racing style seats have a really short stack height because they don't have as much cushion. So make sure you think about that as well when you're trying to get that lowest seat height. If you've already tried a solid seat post and you're all the way down, you could try different saddles that have a shorter stack height. The other thing that I do recommend is to think about pedals if you need your seat low, because pedals also have a stack height and different pedals will increase your height to your saddle where your foot is. So picture a line from where your foot is meeting the pedal all the way up to your seat. That distance can grow or shrink where your stack height of your pedal is. So some pedals are really thick, which means your seat height has to be a little bit higher to get the best pedal efficiency. And some are thinner, which means your seat can be lower. So something else just to think about as you're trying to dial in your seat height. Hope that helps. Hope it was clear. Let me know if you need anything else in the comments below. All right. Thanks again for watching. As always, stay well, stay good, and remember to bike more and worry less.